probably wondering, T, you travel so much. What is in your makeup travel bag? If you're not wondering, start wondering, because today's video is gonna be what's in T's travel makeup bag. I'm gonna show you a bunch of different things that I pack with me on my trips. I've been traveling a lot in April, so if you guys are not in the loop, I just got back from Disney World. I had a fantastic time at Disney World. By the time you are watching this, this is gonna be like the second week now since I went to Disney World. So I always have to have a go bag or things that I just need to get ready. And it's actually really simple, but also excessive. Like I'm an overpacker, but I'm also not. If you would like to see what is currently in my makeup bag, then keep on watching. Okay, let's start off with more of a bag that I just from going to Florida, going to Disney World. These are the two bags that I have. And the reason why I really like this is because it's thin, but not really. And I did more of a backpack rather than just a suitcase because I was balling on a budget. Okay, Disney World's expensive, the trip's expensive, so your girl flew Frontier, the most basic zone 6-7. Like I was 6'7". So if you guys know, you guys know, okay? I'm not old. I know what the new lingo is. Anyway, these are like my makeup bag, my travel bag that I just took with me from my trip to Orlando for Disney World. I was so excited. I was just like, OMG. I wanted to spend as much as I can on the actual Disney World and like the food and everything. So I just did a backpack. So it was very condensed. I didn't take much with me on that trip at all. That's it, period. Okay, let's start with the fun bag, the funner bag. So this is not the funner bag. It's actually gonna be this one. Let's first talk about the actual bag itself. This is from Cadence. I will link it down in the description below. These come in like multiple different sizes. It's clear, you can see everything. I just really enjoy it, and it pops open like this, and it's magnet, so you can just close it, and it has a flat top. I love traveling with anything that's like super flat, super like compact, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. And also if you want to hang it, you can do so here as well too. So let's dig into this entire bag, and let's start with skincare and skin prep. So these are all travel size, mini size of my favorite moisturizer. I always like try to grab it whenever I place a Sephora order. I'll use like my points for these simply because it's just so convenient rather than taking like the whole tube. So I have two moisturizer. These are from Dew, and so there's this one. This one is the Air Angel Gel Cream, and then this one is the Lipid Rich Facial Moisturizer. These both come in like bigger sizes. Duh. So every time I purchase anything on Sephora, I would, if this is like in the point section, I would use it. It would cost like 100 points to get like these mini size, and I always add mini size skincare, and me just thinking ahead for travel reason. I did the same with this. This is Laneige Cream Skin. I am like, this lasts like one trip, and one trip for me is about like 3 to 5 days. So I do use this very sparingly. It's super cute, and I will keep this container just so I can put other cream toners into them, because I just really like having like a toner, and like my skincare is very minimal during travels. If I am traveling like internationally overseas, then I'll start like, I'll have a luggage and I'll pack a lot, way more than that. So there's that. Let's talk a little bit about brows. I know you guys are really excited for this category. I always do my brows right after I do my skincare. And just to make a little note is the skincare that I use is just like after moisturizer is just sunscreen, and then I let that like sit on my face while I do my brows. So these are the brow products that I do take with me. So first up, I always want to take a brow pencil. So this is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is the mini size, so it has a spoolie and it has the actual brow pencil itself. So this is what I bring with me, and it's a mini size. Again, I always try to save my gift sizes, travel sizes for this purpose. Like I always buy them. And so that's what I have all over my brow. I'm actually in the shade Soft Brown, just because the sample shade, like you don't really get to pick the shade. So Soft Brown, it does make my brows look a lot softer than the normal dark brown that I use, or espresso, etc. And then with the brow pen, this round I brought with me the Melt Universal Brow Pen, and this is to like draw like brow hairs into like my like front ends. And if not this one, I also really like to travel with this as well. The L'Oreal Faux Brow, I am obsessed with this. The only thing about this is the cap is very loosey-goosey. Like I've caught it multiple times, like just popping open inside my bag, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be way too messy. So that is what I have. And then for brow gels, I have two. I know it's very excessive, but they're so cute. So the first one is the Anastasia one. I believe I got it as a gift. Like this was a gift combo. This is their mini size of their clear brow gel. It's the one with this type of spoolie. So it's just way too cute to not put in, and it takes like no space like in that. But because that is so tiny, I'm always afraid that it's going to dry out. So I do have a travel mini size of the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. This is also in clear, and this is what the spoolie looks like on this one. So they're both great. These are like classic, never fails. For me, of course I try a lot of different brands. Right now I'm on the Rare Beauty, like the brow wax for my brows, just to try other things out. So there's that one. And then I get on to eyes. Now with eyes, I try to keep it very minimal, like do bronzer, or you know, like just whatever I have with me that is like a darker shade, and that's usually the bronzer. However, if I have the space and room, and usually this gives me the space and room, I would put on like a concealer. I just don't even bother with a eyeshadow primer. It just takes up a lot of space. So I'm trying to be practical here of like, okay, do I need my makeup to last that long? Usually not, because I'm not doing like any events. I'm just going for like work trips or like just hang out with friends. So I'm not doing like a whole, like this look, like this full blown beat. I just want to look a little bit woken up. So the palette of choice is going to be this Viseart Paris palette, and the reason why I chose this is because A, it's very petite, B, it comes with a mirror, and C, it has all the mattes that you need, and it's in like the tiniest, it takes like no space, and if you forget a mirror, you can use this. It's a great mirror. I don't use the mirror because I have a thing with like not taking wrappers off of stuff. Don't mind me. I'm the girl that like the TV remote or like the remote, like there's still that clear plastic wrap. I don't know why. Maybe that's just how I was raised, but yeah. This is the Petite Matte Neutral. I did get this on sale, and Viseart is just such high quality. Again, you can have like a brow bone shade, you can have a warm, you can have a gray, you can do it all with this, like just a light stuff. So I always pack this in my kit just so I have an eyeshadow palette in case I want to do something dramatic. So let's move on to other areas of my eyes and face. Let's talk a little bit about mascara. I don't fuss with eyeliner. I don't even bring a kohl liner. I don't bring any of that. I just do lashes, mascara, and that's it for me. So the two that I've been really loving, and one you already know, it's the YSL Lash Latex and the Idol Lash. So I get these, again, these are all gonna be like sample mini size for me for my 4 or 5 days trip. And then after that, these would be like replace, toss. Like they're not meant to be for like, if you're traveling for a month, you can try to stretch it out, but I wouldn't. Just because they're so small, they'll dry out super fast. So I just do mascara on my trips and out the door, nothing too fussy for me. No lashes, nothing, no liner. Like, again, I'm being practical. We're not doing like this type of look because most of the time I have to wake up like really early and get out the door, or I'm the one grabbing the coffee on these work trips, or there's just a lot of things to do on these work trips. Or even when I'm like traveling for Disney World, we're like, you know, we would like to wake up early to get the most out of our day, if that makes any sense. So that is what I have for my eye situation. Just something to make me look alive, look awake, you name it. So let's move on to complexion. Now, this is what I always travel with, and it's so nice and so good. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Wonder. This is the soft matte. I'm in the shade 15 Buff. I'm currently trying to purchase a shade or two lighter, just simply because I just feel like sometimes it looks a little yellow, and I usually mix it in with either my Lawless or my MPH. My MPH for sure, I always mix it all the time. That foundation, that serum foundation, just so that it's not as yellow and for it to not be as slippery and serumy, because this does give you like this soft matte look, and I'm oily. So whenever I travel, this is my go-to, very travel friendly, squeezy tube. It's like 1 fluid ounce, so it meets the requirement. And of course, as there's no way there's 1 fluid ounce left in here. It's probably a little bit less than that, just with me using it weeks after weeks after weeks after weeks and on my travel. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm like halfway on this. So you just shake it and you just squeeze it out. So it does have a squeezy tip, and it gets very messy. Be warned, it gets very messy. If I haven't said that before, it gets very messy. So be very careful. And sometimes if I want to play it safe, I just take a little bit of a Scotch tape and I just tape this down and throw it in my bag. So when I travel, it's not like just popping off on me. So that is the foundation that I bring with me. And then for the concealer. Now with concealer, you guys are probably like, Estee Lauder? No. So with the concealer, I'm trying to think about concealers that self-set for me, where I don't need, and not knocking on like Estee Lauder, that's like fantastic. That's my love. Also, I'm thinking practically about like packaging wise, like I need something small and condensed. And a lot of the times, like concealers don't come in like mini sizes. There are some, like I know like NARS does it as well, but I need a concealer that I actually really love to bring to my travel. And I'm not just gonna get a travel size one just simply because I need a smaller concealer. So for the concealer, I have been traveling with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is the Lift and Flex Concealer. And this is in the shade 6. This is what the doe foot applicator looks like. And this is small. Like, this is very like thin, compact. Like, it's not gonna take up a lot of real estate in your makeup bag, like to travel. I just wanted to compare it with the Estee Lauder really quickly, was what I was thinking. And this is just like, just me being practical, and this is a really good concealer as well too. It does self-set, it dries down, so you don't need to wait to blend this girl out. And you could get away, if you're dry, you can get away with not setting this down, but yo girl is oily. There's just absolutely no way I am not setting my makeup down. So I have 2 types of setting powder. I have a loose setting powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their translucent, And also, I just want to make sure, like, I do rotate powders out. The other two that I really enjoy, and it doesn't take up a lot of space either, is the NYX Makeup Wonder Loose Setting Powder and the L'Oreal Infallible loose setting powder as well too. So let me just show you guys, just so that we have a little bit of a comparison on this. So with taking up real estate, it's not that much of a difference. Like, I always like switch these out. Like, these are like the smallest. I usually don't bring my Huda Beauty one because that's ginormous. I usually bring the mini size of Huda Beauty, which I will get to in just a second. But yes, so I would just like rotate these out, and sometimes after traveling, I use this every single day, these two or mix of them. So for me, sometimes I forget to put it in my travel bag and I'm just like out the door. So I just want to make sure that you can rotate if you need this type of powder. And another powder that I just recently fell in love with, and this has been out a long time, but this is the Fenty Beauty Matte. This is their Invisa-Matte in Universal 01. This is a blotting powder. Now, if you watch my Fenty Beauty, I bought a lot of like mini size, and of course, I'm all about the mini size makeup products. And for me, just mini size makeup products, it's just so much better. So this is what the Fenty Beauty, the blotting matte powder looks like. So it comes with this little puff if you need to. I don't really use that puff, but I keep it in there just in case. So this is what it looks like, just something small, something compact. I do want to say that this could be a little bit more compact. It's a little chunky, clunky still, but nevertheless, you know, it's still very small, very compact. It's this, or I also have the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish, the setting powder. I do have like the tiny mini size as well too. And again, like the setting powder for me is just to set and like final finish on my face. It's really the loose setting powder that really keeps me like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Let's talk a little bit about bronzer and blushes, because you guys already know I love bronzers. I love blushes. So first up, I travel with the Westman Atelier. This is their Face Trace Contour Stick. I did mention this in one of my Sephora recommendation for like last minute. I now remember why I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it because it was in my travel bag. So this is in the shade Truffle. And this is what Truffle looks like right here. And this is for me to just contour a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. You don't have to go like ham spam. This is very pigmented, and this also like in such a cute compact packaging that is just like pop it in. I love travel size. I love travel size makeup, period. And then for the blush, I love traveling with the Rare Beauty, the mini ones. These ones are so adorable, and they're just really easy to blend. Like, I can't recommend this enough. I also recommended this in my Sephora last minute sale. So the minis like half, like a fraction of the price of the big one, and you can travel with it, and a little bit goes a long way. You can use it alone, you can use it together, you can mix them however you want. What I've been doing is I've been putting the shade Hope all over, everywhere. Like, we're going ham on it because Hope is such like this like mauve, natural, very muted shade. And then I'll go in with Charm, this shade, and I'll put like 1 to 2 dot if I'm feeling like I want like bow, juicy in the center of my like my cheek, like this round area. I'll put on Charm like 2 dots right here and just really focus on that blend right there. So that's what I usually put on. And then I would go in, and this highlighter, oh my gosh. This highlighter has been in my collection for quite a long time now, and I don't know, something about it just is so amazing. So it's also not cheap, but it is the Westman Atelier. This is in the shade Nectar. Nectar is like this peachy, rosy shade, and it gives you like this wet highlighting shade, and I would take it and I put it all over as my blush topper and on my cheekbone as highlighter as well too. So this is like a 2-for-1 for me. It makes my blush all glowy, all dewy, and it also gives me a highlighter lit from within. And on days that it's like really hot and I need to set everything down, I usually set everything down. And this is not sponsored by Westman Atelier or anything. I'm so sorry. I just noticed that blushes, this area was all Westman Atelier. So this is the Westman Atelier Baby Cheek Face Trace Sculpting Powder Duo. So this one, I actually used the mirror for this because it's such a high quality mirror. In my opinion, like it's Westman Atelier. They're not gonna like just cheapen out, and this packaging is very sturdy. So I have the shade Tulle and Truffle. I use Truffle to set Truffle down. That was just what is in my head. And then I use Tulle to set my blush down as well too. So that is what I use to set down my blush and my bronzer. Sometimes I don't even do it just simply because I just have to be out the door. And usually the Westman Atelier and the Rare Beauty blush and bronzer, they stay on all day, so I don't really have to worry about it. So let's go on to lippies, shall we? For lippies, I have a lip gloss. I also have a lipstick and I have lip liner. So let's talk about the lip liner. The two lip liners that I take with me is the Makeup by Mario. This is the Ultra Suede Lip Pencil in Rich Mauve. I've had Rich Mauve for a very long time, and also I always sharpen my lip liner pencil right before I go or right after I come home and unpack everything, just so I can save space in having to have a sharpener. And this just like stays sharp unless I'm traveling for weeks and weeks, and usually that's very rare. Then I'll throw in like a sharpener. I'll be extra, like very extra, very high maintenance. But this is Rich Mauve. Let me swatch Rich Mauve for you guys. So this is what Rich Mauve is. This is my first intro to Makeup by Mario lip pencils. So this is like their like mini size. I've definitely used this a lot, so it's like shrunken, so it looks like a travel size, but this is a smaller sample size nonetheless because it doesn't have the brush on the other end. And then the other one, if you guys have been watching me for a very long time, I love NARS lip liner in Venice. And Venice is, I'm just kidding, it's not Venice, it's Vents. There's no I in there. So it's just Vents, and I've used Vents. This is probably my second one. So, and they're the same thing, except Vents, in my opinion, is a little bit lighter than Rich Mauve, but they're the same thing, in my opinion, like the same type of color family, and I tend to gravitate towards a more dusty rose, mauve-y, brownie type of liner for my lip. So that's what I bring for the lip liner category. And then for lipstick, I bring the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. It's the tiny lipstick. I got this in a gift set. I cannot remember, but she is a tiny girl and she does the job. Like, you cannot go wrong with Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk is just the perfect, like, pinky mauve. And oh my God. Wow, I am so glad that I twisted it down before I dropped it because it'll be RIP. Anyway, sorry. Let's look at Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk goes so well with Rich Mauve and Vents from NARS. And then sometimes I just leave it as is and just go matte. Other times, if I'm feeling like I want a little gloss. This is a really good gloss. It took me by surprise. This is the L'Oreal Paris gloss. I got it from CVS. There's still a sticker on it. I'll get to it later. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to it, to be honest. I'm just lying. So this is in the shade 40 Blissful Blush. And again, mauve. This is so pretty and it gives like luxe vibe, in my opinion. It's not too sheer, but it's also not too opaque either. Like, it's just right. It's not sticky and it doesn't taste disgusting. So I just add like more to my lip. I do not need more on my lip, but more is more. So yeah, this tastes really good. It has a really fun doe foot applicator. And yeah, so this is in the shade 40 Blissful Blush. This is just such a good lip combo for every single look that I do on myself. Like, it just makes me look alive. Okay, well, now that is all the fun in the actual makeup itself, like the makeup category. Let's dive into the more practical, not really practical, but the other bag. And this bag is more of like brushes, like a face cleaner, like just little things. If you don't care about it, you don't care about it. All the fun is over at this stage. So if you want to see what is in my other bag, it's more like tools and skincare for me. I refuse to sleep with my makeup on. When I was younger, whatever. But now I'm like, absolutely not. I need to take it off, like no matter like what it takes, whether I'm like super drunk or not, or I'm super tired, we need to take our makeup off. It's just how it is. So with taking the makeup off, I have several different things that I pack just to make sure that my makeup comes off. So the first thing here is this is what I use from my Florida trip. So this is the Pure Cleansing Oil. I love cleansing oil. This is from the brand Manayo. So I'm sure they have like a bigger size, but I got this in a gift set. A lot of this is gift set, or I just purchased like travel size of items that I really, really love. So this is the Pure Cleansing Oil. I put a little bit in my hand and put it all over my like dry face at the end of the night, just to break down all of the makeup. And then I put in a little bit of water and emulsify everything. Then I wash it, and then I go in again with an actual cleanser. So, and then also I do the same with these. I have balms instead of oil. So there's the Farmacy Green Tea Cleansing Balm and the Hemish All Clean Balm in Mandarin. So these are like to go, like, I think they're like 1 to 2 uses. I know for a fact this is just one usage. You take everything, like you can't close this up afterwards. And then this one, I'm pretty sure, like just opening and closing it, you can use it multiple times. So you don't need a lot, sparingly, just scoop a little out on your hand and then take it. And I focus on my eyes a lot more because I'm wearing mascara, liners, or my brows, or like eyeshadow, you name it. I tend to do that all over my eyes for a more gentle. I'm not going in like with a wipe or anything. I try not to. So those are the cleansers. And then I go in with like, I don't have it in this one, I took it out already, but I usually go in with like a CeraVe or Cetaphil, like really gentle foaming cleanser. I double cleanse with another cleanser, and it's more of a foaming cleanser, not an oil cleanser. And then dry my face off. Once I dry my face off, I go in with these little packets here. So I've talked about this in what I'm purchasing for the Sephora savings event, if you've watched my previous video. But this is the Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the extra strength daily peel pad. So it comes in like a set like this. One is to exfoliate and smooth, and the other one is an anti-aging neutralizer. I love to exfoliate my face, and not like the scratchy stuff. This is more of like an AHA, BHA type of formula. And the pads are like really juicy. I would take it and go over to exfoliate my skin very lightly. I'm not like going ham on it. And also around the perimeter of like my ear, underneath my ear, behind my ear lobes, around my chin right here, and all over. I avoid this area, like my eyes and underneath eyes, because it's so delicate there. I don't want to just be harassing it with actives. And I'll do around my nose, my little mustache area, my lip, and then I'll go around my hairlines one more time. And I kid you not, doing that, you still see makeup, dirt, and all that disgusting stuff that stayed on your face. Like I know, like especially this area underneath your neck, I'm sorry, underneath your chin, your neck, and also like as you're washing your face, things are moving down. Like gravity is doing its gravity thing. So this area specifically, I make sure that I'm like doing a final wipe. And of course my ear, because I do blend my makeup all the way back there, my bronzer and you name it, and my hairline, I always try to blend my makeup in. So I know this is excessive, but I just would like to not sleep with makeup on. Then I'll like, once I'm done with the first one, step one, I go to step two. Step two, I'll wipe it gently to neutralize step one. And even me wiping with step two, there was still like just a little bit. Sometimes there's just a little bit of dirt or a little bit of makeup, bronzer, foundation, and it'll show up as well. So I'll try to like do that. Once that's done, I let it dry. We let it dry. Then we go back in with our skincare routine, the toner, the moisturizer, a little bit of lip balm, and out the door, into bed we go, not out the door. Wow, 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 wow. I also have like eye drops in here. So this is the eye drop that I have. I do wear contacts, so like my eyes do dry out or like things get into it and I'm just like, ugh, this hurts. So let's go into tools really quickly. And tools are more of like products just to apply my makeup. Like I'm not applying, I still want to look good, you know? I don't want to like apply with my hand and just be like, me, 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 me. It doesn't work for me. So first up, I will go over the brushes really quickly. And when I'm traveling, I'm trying to think of like brushes that I can use for multiple different things. Okay. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't need to pack like a different brush for every different occasion. I'm trying to just think for like, okay, you can just do a whole look with just these and these alone. So foundation brush, non-negotiable. And sometimes I do a beauty blender. I haven't been using a beauty blender as much as I used to anymore. Right now I'm like really more of like a foundation like brush and packing it on. I just feel like it gives me more coverage. But I do have a beauty blender packed with me just in case I need it. And this could blend out like bronzer, concealer. Like this is like multi-use. So these are like more for like foundation, cream, etc. The other area is that this is going to be for my bronzer and my cream blush. So I'll go in with like bronzer. I'm trying not to, I try to have like a stick bronzer to do like little lines everywhere. And then I go in and I blend it with this. And then I go in again with this and do the blush, I know, or sometimes I'll just like wipe it off on a towel if it's like I put a lot of bronzer or cream bronzer on that the blush will not show up. So this is my cream bronzer, cream blush brush. The other one is to powder and set the concealer down. That's what I'm using it for. And then for setting the bronzer or like setting the bronzer down, I use this brush. I also use this brush and use it again for me to dip this into the powder bronzer and the powder blush to set down the cream if I wanted to. So this is like, it's so good to like buff around. And then for my eyeshadow, I just do one fluffy crease brush and call it a day. Or if there's shimmer, I can always just use my hand and just like pat it on and then also call it a day. So this one is the only brush that I bring with me, like more of like a fluffy diffuser or taper to get my crease and all that fun stuff. And then for this flat brush, it's more to like carve out my brows. I don't carve out my brows a lot, but whenever like if I'm traveling and I didn't have time to like pluck or tweeze and stuff, I'll just like use a little bit of concealer just so that my brows look extremely clean. This lip brush is from MAC, the 318. It's very convenient, so it looks like this, and this is how we use it, and it's so compact. So this is more for me to blend out like the lip line if I need to, and it's just so convenient. It's so small. It takes up like barely anything in my makeup bag. And then yeah, that's pretty much the tools I use for like the complexion. And last but not least, eyelash curler. I would bring an eyelash curler. This is my Shiseido one that I pop in my bag and I just curl it. Again, I am not wearing lashes 99.9% of the time when I'm traveling, just because it's just so fussy bringing like lash glue and fake lashes and and tweezers. I have to bring more things. So I'm just trying to think of like, okay, how can I look put together with the least amount of product as possible? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for hair, this day hair, I just use it to slick my hair back. I use it to slick it today. I use it to slick other days. And usually I use this is like when, again, this is all traveling. So I don't know why I keep saying for when I travel. Anywho, for when I travel. And sometimes I'm not washing my hair every single day. I know, yuck, what are you doing? I'm just kidding. You should not wash your hair every single day. I kind of like skip like every other day, but I'm too oily to just go like a long time. So if I skip one day, I will put my hair up in like a ponytail or bun, and I have a lot of baby hair, so your girl is slicking them back. And this has a peach, like a peachy smell to it, so you smell really good still, you smell really fresh, etc. And then next day, go wash your hair afterwards. And then the other items in here would be like, this would be just hand sanitizer, a compact hairbrush, and a lip balm in here. So these are just things that I travel with. So that pretty much wraps up my entire what's in my travel bag for makeup when I travel every single time. So if you would like to see a lot more of these type of videos, just let me know. And also, like, I would love to hear like recommendations, what you guys travel with, what works for you. I'm always looking for new products, big, small, travel friendly. I love tiny miniature size stuff. So I'm about to go travel again this upcoming weekend to go to SF for a work trip. So thank you so much for watching me. I so appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you like more videos like this, if you like the content that I put out, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell button for notifications on my future video. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now, everyone. Mwah.